department. This is Todd Felix. Just a little background about our canine unit. Right now we've got a total of 6 handlers throughout the city. We have a dog on every night, and all of our dogs are patrol dogs. So,
Sir, can you speak up a little bit, please?
Trying.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we've got 6 patrol dogs, and we don't have any drug dogs right now in the city. We do have 1 explosive detection dog. And so, yeah, like I said, currently we've got 6 dogs. This is Canine Zeus. He is our newest dog out on the streets. And
somebody had asked when he came by if he was a mix. He's not. He's a purebred shepherd from the Netherlands. He's just got a unique coloring on him with the black and the tan legs. So it was pretty neat. He's the only black dog we've got, so it's pretty easy to distinguish him from the others. But he's only 3.5 years old, and he's up to 95 pounds. So he's a big boy. He's a handful trying to put him in an attic. But I think it's actually getting him out of the attic is a little more difficult because he does the spread legs thing, and so you're trying to squeeze him through a little hole. But he and I have been working together since September, and we went through our 400-hour school in September, and then started deploying on the street in December in Spokane. So he's still learning. I'm still learning, and if Officer Hamilton had his dog out here, Leo, he's a veteran dog of the group. He'll just sit here, lay down. He won't look at anybody. He'll just sit here and be quiet. I put him up there because while we're talking, all he would do is whine because he's like a little kid. So you can hear him whining back there. So welcome to the back of my patrol car for 11 hours a night. Sometimes it's nice at 3 in the morning when you feel like you're falling asleep and he sees a bicycle ride by and barks. It's very loud in there.
So does anybody know why we use dogs in police work? The main reason? How about you? Correct. It's for their nose. They can smell anywhere from 100 to 1,000,000 times better than we can. And what our dogs are trained to alert on is the odor of human scent. That's it. So if we're out looking for evidence per se that maybe someone had just robbed a bank, maybe they tossed a gun or something, they're not actually looking for the gun. What the dog's looking for is the scent left behind by the suspect on that gun. So and they can clear buildings much faster than we can. They're much more efficient, and it's almost like they can see through walls, because they can tell if the suspect's hiding on the other side of a door, whereas, obviously we can't until we open it. So it makes things much safer for us. They're much faster at locating suspects than us. They're also a lot more agile, a lot quicker than us. So when we get guys that want to run from the police or whatnot, obviously they can't outrun the dog. So all we need is that dog to be able to see the suspect running, and it's game over. Yes?
Do you ever use any other dogs besides shepherds?
Yeah, we've also got some Belgian Malinois in our canine unit. Yeah, actually I've got a little Mal puppy that I'll bring out here in just a second and show you guys. Yeah. So
one of the things, the other night, Zeus and I helped out on one of our corporals came up on a stolen car, had a person take off from the car. Patrol units came in the area and actually found the suspect before we ran a track about 5 blocks away from the car. When he ran, the corporal saw that he had a bag in his hand, some sort of black bag that he didn't have when he was contacted and arrested. So we did a confirmation track just from where he took off to see if the dog would track right to the same location that the guy was caught, and then if he found anything along the way. And we tracked pretty much straight lines right to where the one officer found him and arrested him. However, about halfway there, behind a dumpster, behind an apartment complex, Zeus located a black kind of carry bag, and when we got into that, it had scales, bags, and a high quantity of methamphetamine. So the guy, when he took off from the car, discarded this bag thinking if I get caught, I'm not going to get caught with the bag. However, we go through the certifications and the trainings, and we're certified as a team that we can articulate in court, and that we did a confirmation track. Along that track, the suspects had discarded this, and the dog is trained it down right on it. So we were able to pick up that evidence that we probably wouldn't have found beforehand if we didn't have the dog. So it's not just catching the guys, it's catching the evidence as well, which is nice.
And so what Zeus alerted on though was not the drugs inside the bag. It was all that human odor on them that the suspect left behind. So, and like he mentioned, attics. You know, it's amazing where these suspects like to hide. You know, whether it's in the attic or crawl spaces, whatnot. We work very close with our SWAT team as well. So on every SWAT deployment, we have canines that also assist SWAT. Pod was used yesterday in a big incident in the city where there was a guy firing off a gun and there was multiple shots fired and whatnot. It was actually Zeus is the one that apprehended the guy when he finally came out. So again, working side by side with SWAT. And most of our handlers are either on SWAT or former SWAT. So. Yeah.
You'll see when I get Zeus out, he gets target fixation on the sleeve on equipment. Sometimes that's not the greatest thing. We have to break them of that when they're new because they have to transition to doing their job on the street without somebody wearing equipment. Sometimes they look at their first deployment on where we need to apprehend somebody. They look and they're looking for that equipment and they may hesitate. Fortunately for us, he overcame that very, very quickly on his first deployment. But you'll see when I get him out, he's going to be staring at this sleeve laying on the ground because he knows that when that's out, he gets to play. and that's all it is to him. They're not mean dogs. We're fortunate in our unit that our dogs are very, very social. In an environment like this with him, most likely I could allow him to walk amongst you with no muzzle and he'd be fine. We're not going to do that. There's always that chance that he takes a nibble at somebody, but our dogs are very social, and when they get out into equipment, you wonder, are they going to make that transition? But fortunately, he made the transition pretty quickly. But he'll get fixated on that right away, and he'll start whining as soon as we get him out, because he knows it's going to be time to play.
It's all play to them. Our dogs, like you said, they're not vicious. You know, they don't have a mean bone in the body. If my dog was working and he happened to be biting a bad guy, if he could be smiling, he would, truly. It's all fun for him. It's not out of defense or aggression by any means. So,
if you see videos of it, their tails are still wagging. I mean, it's fun. There's no difference to him if I deploy him on the street for a guy that ran out of a stolen car or is barricaded in a house versus we get out here and do training. It's no different to him. He doesn't know whether it's a real world situation or a training. Everything's real world to him, and it's all a game. Did you have a question, sir?
Yeah.